Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into Adani Wilmar,
Oh, yeah.
and we're looking at their Q2 results
Okay.
for fiscal year 2025.
All right.
And the really
Yeah.
cool thing is
Yeah.
we've got a bunch of documents straight from Adani Wilmar themselves.
Right.
We've got their official announcement that they sent out
Yes.
to the stock exchanges.
Uh-huh.
We've got their investor presentation, which is packed with all sorts of insights.
Okay.
And we even had the independent auditor's report.
Wow. So we've really got the full picture.
We've got the backstage pass.
That's right.
So we're going to unpack all the key takeaways.
Okay.
We'll try to understand what's driving their growth.
All right.
And I think we're going to leave you with a really interesting insight
to
think about at the end.
Sounds good.
So
Yeah.
first things first,
Okay.
we'll talk about the headline results.
All right. How did they do?
Well, the big story here is growth,
Okay.
and lots of it.
Oh, wow.
We're talking double-digit increases,
Okay.
both in the volume of products they're selling
Mhm.
and the value they're generating.
So people are buying more of their stuff.
Yeah.
And they're making more money from it.
Exactly.
All right.
So specifically,
Uh-huh.
their revenue jumped
Mm-hmm.
a whopping 18%
Wow.
compared to the same time last year,
Okay.
which translates to a massive
Mhm.
INR 14,460 crores.
Wow. That's a serious chunk of change.
It is.
Yeah.
And are they making a profit from all this growth?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Their profits are strong,
Okay.
and they actually achieved their highest ever half-year earnings,
That's great.
which is a really positive sign that they're managing their business well
Mhm.
and making smart decisions.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
their investor presentation kind of dives deeper
Okay.
into their performance by different segments of their
Yeah.
business.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what's leading the charge?
What? Edible oil.
Oh, edible oil, of course.
No surprise there.
Right.
That's what they're known for.
That's what they're known for.
It's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting is they actually achieved
Okay.
a 17%
Wow.
year-on-year volume growth in Q2
Okay.
in this segment.
In edible oil.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that marks their third consecutive quarter
Wow.
of double-digit growth
Okay.
in edible oil.
Yeah.
So even though they're already a huge player in this space,
Right.
they're still finding ways to grow,
That's impressive.
which is
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're not just sitting still.
What?
They're actively expanding
Hmm?
into new markets,
Okay.
reaching consumers they haven't reached before.
Right.
They're also seeing great performance
Mhm.
in specific oils
Yeah.
like soybean, sunflower, and mustard oil.
So they're strategically planning their next move
Yeah.
to really kind of stay ahead.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
edible oil is their powerhouse,
Okay.
but let's not overlook
Right.
their food and FMCG segment.
Okay.
And that's where things get really exciting
Right.
in terms of future potential.
I'm listening.
So this segment is absolutely taking off.
It is.
Based on what we're seeing here,
Yeah.
their food and FMCG segment
Mm-hmm.
saw a remarkable
Mm-hmm.
34% jump in revenue
Yeah.
compared to the same time last year.
Okay.
And that reached
Right.
INR 1,718 crores.
Okay.
And even more impressive,
Yeah.
the volume of products they're selling in this segment
Okay.
grew by a massive 33%.
All right.
So this really shows that Adani Wilmar
Yeah.
is serious about diversifying their business
Right.
beyond
Yeah.
just edible oil.
Okay.
They're saying, hey,
Yeah.
we're not just an edible oil company anymore.
Uh-huh.
We're a major player
Mm-hmm.
in the food and FMCG market.
That's right.
So their actions really speak volumes.
You do?
They're investing heavily in this segment.
Okay.
They're expanding their product offerings.
Mm-hmm.
They're launching new products.
Right.
Think ready-to-cook meals,
Okay.
staples like flour and rice,
Yeah.
and so much more.
That makes sense.
Now, they've also announced
Yeah.
a new employee stock option scheme,
Okay.
or ESOP, as they call it.
Right.
And they call this one the
Sure.
AW-Employee Stock Option Scheme 2024.
Got it.
And it's designed to reward their employees
Okay.
and align everyone's interests
Mm-hmm.
toward
Yeah.
the company's long-term success.
So a smart move.
It sounds like a smart move.
Yeah. Happy employees often lead to a happy bottom line.
That's right.
Right?
So what are the key details of this scheme?
Well, the board has given the green light
Okay.
to grant up to 1.29 crore employee stock options.
All right.
To put that into perspective, that's 1% of the total shares of the company.
Okay.
And these options will gradually become available to employees over a period of
Okay.
2 to 4 years.
So employees are essentially becoming
Yeah,
part owners of the company,
they are.
which gives them a real stake
It does.
in its future
Fine.
success.
It encourages employees to think and act like owners,
Right.
which ultimately benefits everyone involved.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
while they're making waves in India,
Mm-hmm.
their operations in Bangladesh
Okay.
have encountered some headwinds.
Yes. The report mentioned a loss
Yep.
of 51 crores
Right.
in the first half of FY25
Mm-hmm.
for their Bangladesh subsidiary.
Yes.
So what's the situation there?
Well, it seems like a perfect storm hit them.
Okay.
A combination of the currency and political crisis in Bangladesh,
Right.
along with government intervention
Mhm.
in edible oil pricing.
So it hasn't been all smooth sailing
It hasn't.
for Adani Wilmar.
Right.
But overall, their performance looks
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It does, and I think it's crucial to look beyond just the numbers and understand what's driving their success.
Right.
They're not just producing and selling products,
Mm-hmm.
they're actively engaging with consumers
Okay.
and coming up with these really innovative
Right.
marketing campaigns.
Give me an example.
Remember their special Hilsa Festival packaging
Yeah.
for Kachigani mustard oil?
Yeah, that was really clever.
Right.
Tying their product
Yeah,
to a popular cultural event.
exactly. Connecting with consumers on a cultural level.
That's great.
And they're also focusing on these emerging channels
Okay.
like e-commerce and the Horeca segment.
Which is hotels, restaurants, and catering.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
These are areas that are experiencing tremendous growth.
So they're adapting to the changing consumer behavior
Yeah,
and constantly looking for new avenues to grow their business.
that's right.
But it's not just about growth
Right.
for the sake of growth.
Yeah,
They're also making significant strides
yeah,
in sustainability.
that's right.
Absolutely. Adani Wilmar is increasingly focusing on
Yeah.
sustainability initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I find
Yeah,
particularly commendable.
it's important.
One of their notable initiatives
Okay.
is the Fortune Suposhen program.
Nice.
And it's a CSR initiative
Okay.
that tackles malnutrition and anemia in India.
So they're not just focused on profits.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the well-being of the
Right.
communities they operate in.
That's great to see.
It is.
And they're not stopping there.
Hmm.
They're also making efforts
Mhm.
to reduce their environmental impact.
Okay.
Think solar power,
All right.
water conservation,
Mm.
and even sustainable palm oil sourcing.
So they aim to be a leader in sustainability
Yeah,
within the edible oil industry in India.
that's a lofty goal,
It is.
but it's inspiring to see them
Yeah.
making such a conscious effort.
Their commitment to sustainability is truly commendable.
So we've got a company experiencing remarkable growth,
Mm-hmm.
strategically expanding its portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
and making significant contributions
Yeah.
to sustainability.
Right.
Pretty impressive.
It is. Their performance in the first half of FY25 has been stellar,
Yeah.
and they seem to be well positioned for continued success. They
Yeah.
have a clear vision,
Right.
a strong management team,
Mm.
and are adapting well
Yeah.
to the ever-changing market dynamics.
All right. So before we move on to part two,
Okay.
let's quickly recap
Right.
what we've covered so far.
That's good.
We started by examining their overall performance.
Right.
Double-digit growth, strong profitability.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the headlines.
Those are the headlines.
We then delved into their two key segments.
Okay.
Edible oil,
Right.
which remains their powerhouse,
Yeah.
and food and FMCG,
Mm-hmm.
where we see a lot of exciting potential.
Yes. Lots of potential.
We also touched upon their new employee ownership scheme
Right.
and their challenges in Bangladesh.
Uh-huh.
And lastly, we discussed
Great.
their focus on connecting with consumers
Okay.
through innovative marketing campaigns
Right.
and their efforts to become a more sustainable business.
Yes. A lot to unpack.
So much to unpack,
Mm.
but we've got more to explore in part two
We did.
of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned, because next we'll take a closer look
All right.
at how Adani Wilmar is tapping into
Mhm.
the world of e-commerce
Okay.
and the booming Horeca market.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dives into Adani Wilmar's performance. So we've already talked about their impressive growth and profitability.
And we saw how they're not just an edible oil company anymore.
Right.
They're making big moves in the food and FMCG market.
Yeah, now let's zoom in on one of the strategies that really highlights their forward-thinking approach.
Okay.
Their savvy use of what they call alternate channels.
I'm curious about this. Their investor presentation
Mm-hmm.
mentioned things like alternate channels and Horeca Can you break that down for us? What are
Yeah.
we talking about here?
So think of alternate channels as all the ways people are buying groceries today
Yep.
that go beyond your traditional grocery store.
Okay.
This includes the big e-commerce giants, online marketplaces,
Right.
and even those quick commerce apps that promise grocery deliveries in minutes.
So they're tapping into the way we shop today where convenience is key.
Exactly. And Adani Wilmar has seen significant growth in these channels.
Okay.
Their alternate channel revenue has already crossed a staggering INR 3,000 crores.
Wow.
And that's driven by robust double-digit growth.
So they're not just riding the wave.
No,
They're actively shaping it.
they are. They're not just listing their products online and hoping for the best.
Right.
They're investing in strategic advertising to make sure their products stand out, improving their product visibility and selection,
Okay.
ensuring smooth and efficient delivery, and even training their teams to excel in this digital space.
So it's like they're building a whole digital storefront.
Yeah.
Alongside their physical presence.
A great analogy. Now let's talk about Horeca,
Okay.
hotels, restaurants, and catering.
Whenever I hear Horeca, I picture a fancy restaurants and big events.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
It includes those places, but it's actually much broader than just the fancy segment.
Yeah.
It's about all sorts of food service businesses,
Mm-hmm.
from cafes and caterers to cloud kitchens and institutional canteens.
Right.
Basically, any business that needs a reliable supply of quality ingredients in bulk.
So anyone who needs to buy ingredients in large quantities.
Yes, exactly.
Makes sense.
And this is a smart move by Adani Wilmar because the Horeca segment has huge growth potential.
Okay.
Think about it as people's incomes rise and lifestyles change.
Mm-hmm.
They're eating out more and seeking higher quality food experiences.
Right.
This drives demand for ingredients, which is where Adani Wilmar steps in.
So it's a win-win. They get to tap into a growing market.
Yeah,
And businesses get a reliable source for their ingredients.
exactly. And their Horeca channel sales have grown by over 40% year on year,
Wow.
crossing INR 500 crores in revenue.
That's significant.
It is. They're not just selling to households anymore.
Right.
They're becoming a crucial part of the entire food ecosystem.
That's some serious growth.
Yeah.
They're clearly doing something right.
Yeah.
What else are they doing to succeed in this segment?
Well, they've built a dedicated distribution network specifically for Horeca,
Okay.
with over 100 distributors across India reaching over 40 large towns.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got plans to expand even further.
So they're creating a system that ensures their products are available wherever and whenever they're needed.
Exactly like a well-oiled machine.
Now, why should our listener care about Adani Wilmar's focus on these alternate channels?
Right.
What's the big takeaway here?
I think it shows a few important things.
Okay.
First, it demonstrates their adaptability and their ability to think ahead. They're embracing new ways of reaching consumers and businesses,
Okay.
not clinging to outdated methods.
It's like they have their finger on the pulse of the market, understanding how things are changing
Yes.
and adjusting their strategies accordingly.
Exactly. Second, it shows their dedication to growth and diversification.
Okay.
They're not satisfied with just being an edible oil company.
Yeah.
They're expanding their horizons and trying new things.
They're not afraid to take risks and explore new opportunities.
Right. And third, their success in these emerging channels, especially those impressive growth numbers,
Right.
really speaks to the strength of their brand and the quality of their products.
So consumers and businesses trust them.
They do.
It's inspiring to see a company that's not just growing,
Yeah,
but also constantly innovating and adapting to the ever-changing market.
it is.
Speaking of doing good, we talked a bit about their sustainability efforts in the first part,
Right.
but I think they deserve a deeper dive.
I agree their commitment to sustainability is something they're clearly serious about.
What are some of the key areas they're focusing on?
They've got a multifaceted approach to sustainability. They're working on environmental conservation, social responsibility, and ethical sourcing practices.
Right.
For instance, they've implemented solar power systems at several of their plants.
So they're walking the talk when it comes to renewable energy.
Exactly. They're committed to water conservation as well.
Okay.
They've installed 0 liquid discharge systems at 9 of their major plants,
Mm-hmm.
which means they're treating and reusing wastewater.
So they're thinking about their water footprint
Yes.
as well as their carbon footprint.
That's right. And when it comes to sourcing, they're particularly proud of their sustainable palm oil sourcing practices.
Okay.
They've achieved over 90% traceability for their palm oil,
Okay.
meaning they can track it back to the mills where it was produced.
And why is that so important?
Well, palm oil production has a bad reputation because it's often linked to deforestation and habitat loss.
Right.
By ensuring traceability, Adani Wilmar can show that their palm oil is sourced responsibly,
Right.
minimizing damage to the environment.
So it's about ensuring their supply chain is ethical and sustainable.
It is.
That's important for consumers who are becoming more aware of these issues.
Absolutely. And they've gone a step further by implementing a comprehensive program to promote sustainable procurement practices,
Okay.
not just for palm oil, but for their domestic sourcing as well.
So they're really putting in the effort to make a real difference.
They are now. Tell us more about their Fortune Potion program.
Yeah.
You touched upon this earlier, but I'm curious to learn more about its impact.
It's truly an impactful initiative. It tackles two major issues in India:
Okay.
malnutrition and anemia.
Right.
They focus on four key areas: health education, empowering women, and creating sustainable livelihoods.
Wow.
They've already reached over 2 million people through this program,
That's amazing.
and their goal is to reach even more.
It's impressive to see a company taking such concrete steps to improve the well-being of the communities they serve.
And this commitment to sustainability is not just about doing good.
Right.
It's also a smart business move. Consumers today are more likely to choose brands
Yeah.
that align with their values, especially when it comes to sustainability.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Adani Wilmar gets to make a positive impact,
Mhm.
and consumers can feel good about the brands they support.
Exactly. Now, I'm curious about their manufacturing and logistics.
Okay.
They have a pretty extensive network, right?
They do. Their manufacturing facilities are strategically located across India. They've got a mix of their own units and third-party units,
Mm-hmm.
which gives them an advantage in terms of efficiency and reach.
In their presentation, I noticed they have a total of 70 units spread across multiple states.
Yes, that's right. They have 23 of their own units and 47 third-party units.
Okay.
This mix allows them to be flexible and adapt to changing demand.
Makes sense.
They can increase or decrease production as needed
Right.
without having to invest heavily in building new facilities every time.
That's a smart approach,
Yeah.
especially in a dynamic market like India.
It is, and they're also focused on building integrated plants that can handle multiple products,
Okay.
which boosts their efficiency and reduces costs.
That's fascinating. What about their logistics network?
They've built a tech-enabled supply chain network
Okay.
that ensures their products reach consumers and businesses smoothly and efficiently.
All right.
Their vast network of 96 depots strategically located across the country
Wow.
essentially puts a depot every 250 kilometers.
That's an impressive network, like a web that covers the entire country.
And they've got technology at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
They use digital solutions like a warehouse management system, an integrated logistics management system,
Mhm.
and even a system for planning their manufacturing and logistics.
So they're embracing technology to streamline their operations.
Absolutely. And they're using data analytics to optimize their delivery planning,
Okay.
taking into account factors like raw material prices, transportation costs,
Yeah.
and how efficiently their plants are running.
They're putting their data to work.
It's all about finding ways to do things better, faster, and more cost effectively.
So what are the results of all this effort?
Well, they have a 95% on-time and in-full delivery rate.
Wow.
That means their customers can rely on them to deliver what they need when they need it.
That's a great track record, so consumers and businesses can have confidence in their reliability.
Exactly. And they're not just focused on speed and efficiency.
Okay.
They're also trying to minimize their environmental impact. They're
Yeah.
actively using multimodal transportation and greener fuels like CNG.
It's commendable to see them taking steps to be environmentally responsible, even as they prioritize efficiency and profitability.
It is.
Now, let's shift gears and talk about their marketing strategies.
Okay.
I'm really impressed by how they're combining traditional and digital marketing approaches.
They've got a comprehensive approach to marketing. They leverage celebrity endorsements, television commercials, impactful BTL activities,
Yeah.
and innovative digital campaigns.
I remember seeing their recent ad campaign featuring a big Bollywood star endorsing Fortune soybean oil.
Yeah,
That must have been a huge hit.
it definitely grabbed people's attention. Celebrity endorsements are a great way to connect with a wider audience
Right.
and make a brand more memorable.
And what about their BTL activities? What kind of initiatives are they doing there?
They're getting really creative. For example, they launched a special Eelish campaign in Kolkata
Okay.
to promote their Fortune Kachigani mustard oil during the Hilsa fish season.
Wow.
They had customized packaging, engaging social media content, and even hosted live pickle-making workshops.
That's a great example of tapping into local culture and traditions.
Exactly. They're also doing BTL activations all over India,
Oh, wait.
targeting different regions and demographics.
Mm-hmm.
They've done visual activations for their sunflower oil and besan in Puri Odisha,
Yeah.
rural activations for their soya oil in Bihar, and groundnut and cottonseed oil activations in Western India.
So they're really casting a wide net to reach a diverse audience.
Yeah. They are. And it sounds like they're not afraid to experiment with new formats and platforms.
Yeah, they've created interactive digital campaigns,
Yeah.
produced engaging content for social media,
Hmm.
and even used augmented reality to showcase their products.
That's impressive.
They're constantly finding new and creative ways to connect with consumers.
Right?
And are they seeing positive results from all this marketing activity?
They are, all this effort is paying off.
Definitely.
They've seen a big boost in brand awareness, more people trying their products, and ultimately a significant increase in sales.
So they're not just spending money on marketing, they're
Right.
making sure it delivers results.
Exactly. That's the key.
Now, one thing that really stood out to me is how they're integrating their edible oil and food businesses in their marketing.
Right.
They're using the strength of their established Fortune brand for edible oil to promote their newer food products.
That's a smart strategy. How are they doing that specifically?
Well, they're doing things like running integrated marketing campaigns that feature both edible oil and food products.
Okay.
They're also offering discounts and incentives for people who buy both types of products together.
So it's all about cross-promotion and creating a synergy between their different business segments. And is it working?
It seems to be they've seen a big jump in sales for their food products, especially in places where their Fortune edible oil is already popular.
Interesting.
It's like they're building this powerful ecosystem of products, all united under the trusted Fortune brand.
This integrated approach will likely play a big part in their goal of becoming India's biggest food FMCG player.
Right.
It's an ambitious goal, but one that looks achievable based on their current performance and the strategies they've implemented.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about their strategic initiatives,
We have.
their focus on sustainability, their manufacturing and logistics prowess,
Right.
and their innovative marketing approach.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But there's one crucial aspect we haven't delved into yet,
What's that?
their financial performance.
Oh.
In part 3, let's dig into their impressive profitability
All right.
and understand what's driving it.
Let's crunch some numbers.
Stay tuned, folks, because we'll be back in just a moment for the final part of our deep dive into Adani Wilmar's Q2 performance. All right, we're back for the final part
Okay.
of our deep dive into Adani Wilmar.
All right.
We've explored their strategies,
Uh-huh.
their commitment to sustainability,
Yes.
their impressive operations,
Right.
and even how they're connecting with consumers through marketing.
We've seen how they're growing and diversifying,
Right.
really positioning themselves as a major force in the food industry.
But now it's time to talk about the bottom line,
Okay.
their financial performance.
All right.
And one thing that has really jumped out at me is
Yeah.
their consistent profitability.
Uh-huh.
They seem to be doing a great job
Yeah.
of turning their efforts
Yeah.
into actual profits.
That's right. Their profit margins have been consistently strong.
Okay.
Even when the market has been a bit unpredictable. And that's not just luck. They've put some smart strategies in place
Okay.
to make sure their business is profitable.
I'm all ears. Tell me more about what they're doing.
Okay, so one of the biggest factors is their integrated business model.
Okay.
We've touched on this before,
Yeah.
but it's worth emphasizing.
Right.
They control the entire process,
Okay.
from sourcing raw materials to getting their products onto store shelves.
Right.
This lets them optimize costs at every step.
So they're cutting out the middleman
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
streamlining the process.
Exactly. They procure raw materials directly from the source,
Yep.
and they leverage their size and the expertise of their co-promoter, Wilmar International, to get the best deals.
So that gives them a real cost advantage.
Yes, right from the start.
And then they compound this advantage with their efficient manufacturing and logistics.
Right.
We talked about their strategically located plants, their integrated facilities,
Yes.
their tech-enabled supply chain. All of that helps them
It does.
keep costs down.
And let's not forget about their risk management strategy.
Okay.
They've got a sophisticated system in place to handle the ups and downs of commodity prices.
Right, because that's crucial.
It is crucial in the agricultural business.
Yeah, so they're not just hoping for the best.
No.
They're actively managing risks
They are.
to protect their profitability.
Yes.
That's really smart. Are there any other factors
Yeah.
contributing to their strong margins?
Definitely. They've also been very strategic about focusing on high growth, high margin segments.
Okay.
Their food and FMCG segment, for instance,
Right.
is growing much faster than their traditional edible oil business
Okay.
and also brings in higher profits.
So it's like they found a winning formula,
Yeah.
tapping into a fast-growing market
Mm-hmm.
that also has the potential for big profits.
Exactly. And their expansion into those emerging channels we talked about earlier, like
Yes.
e-commerce and Horeca,
Yeah.
is also helping to boost their margins.
Okay.
These channels typically allow for higher prices and better profitability
Right.
compared to traditional retail.
So they're really diversifying their revenue streams
Yeah.
and choosing their products carefully to maximize profitability.
That's right.
All right, so let's get into the numbers themselves.
Okay.
What kind of financial results are we talking about?
So their consolidated revenue for the fiscal year 2024 was a massive
Okay.
INR 51,262 crores.
Wow.
That number alone speaks volumes about their scale and reach
Right.
and their EBITDA for the year,
Okay.
which is a measure of their core operating profitability,
Mhm.
stood at a healthy
Mm.
INR 11,135 crores.
And what about return on equity,
Yeah.
or ROE? That's
Yeah.
always a key indicator for investors.
Their ROE has been on a steady upward trend,
Okay.
reaching 25% in FY24.
So they're doing a great job
Yeah.
of using their investors' money to generate strong returns?
They're not just growing,
Right.
they're growing profitably and rewarding their investors in the process.
That's impressive.
It is, and their solid financial performance is also reflected in their credit rating,
Okay.
which has been improving over the years.
All right.
They currently hold a strong AA rating,
Mm-hmm.
which basically means they're considered to be financially stable with a positive outlook.
So they're ticking all the boxes when it comes to financial health.
They are.
But let's zoom out for a moment
Okay.
and look at the bigger picture.
All right.
Where do you see Adani Wilmar going from here?
Well, I'm optimistic about their future.
Okay.
They have a clear vision for where they want to go,
Mm-hmm.
a strong management team leading the way,
Right.
a proven track record of success,
Yep.
and a very solid financial foundation to build on.
And they're operating in a market with huge growth potential.
That's right.
India's growing middle class, increasing urbanization,
Mm-hmm.
changing consumer preferences,
Yeah.
all point toward a bright future
Yeah.
for the packaged food industry.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And Adani Wilmar is well positioned to capitalize on these trends.
Okay.
Their diverse product portfolio, their wide-reaching distribution network,
Hmm.
and their focus on innovation and sustainability
Right.
give them a significant edge over the competition.
So they're not just along for the ride.
No.
They're actively shaping the future of the industry.
They are.
It sounds like their ambition to become India's largest food FMCG player
Yeah,
is well within reach.
I believe so. It's a bold goal,
Yeah.
but their performance and strategic plan suggest it's attainable.
Right.
Of course, there will be challenges along the way.
Right.
Competition is always intensifying.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of raw materials can be unpredictable,
Yeah.
and consumer preferences are constantly evolving.
But Adani Wilmar has shown that they're capable of adapting to change
Yes.
and overcoming obstacles.
They've shown resilience.
They have.
And they have strong fundamentals,
Yeah.
which gives them the resilience they need to navigate the complexities of the market.
So overall, you're pretty bullish
am.
on Adani Wilmar's
Yeah.
future prospects.
I am quite bullish on their future prospects. They have all the ingredients they need for continued success.
That's great to hear.
It is.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive
We have.
into Adani Wilmar's Q2 FY25 performance.
It's been a journey.
It has been.
We've seen a company that's not just growing,
Yeah.
but thriving,
Mm-hmm.
setting a high bar for the industry.
It's been fascinating to explore their journey so far.
It has.
And we'll certainly be keeping an eye on them
Yes.
as they continue to grow and evolve.
Definitely. It'll be exciting to see what they achieve next.
It will.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and stay curious.